Welcome back to the Dog Bowl food truck. I I still don't know. I still don't know. I really don't. So I guess let's go straight into it. Oh. Oh! Carl's smile stretches into a grin. I guess we see the truth now. So, we've been here the whole time. I gasp heavily, leaning on Carl as we make our way up the road toward the mansion. Looks that way. I think it all happened in my house. I look around me in the darkness of the night. While the surreal feeling of dreaming is gone, I still feel like I'm in some kind of nightmare. Carl tried his phone the second we realized we were back, but it was dead. Here, outside, no one is around, though we did see a few bodies in the middle of the road. What the hell is happening? I think everyone's gone crazy. Carl seems to be mostly talking to himself. I remember seeing Janice running through the street just before everything went to shit, and I'm inclined to think he's right. Should we maybe go to Leo's place instead? I don't know. I kind of want to find Raven and Jenna, break them out of this first. I mean, she's still got that knife. Maybe she's calmed down. Then we can tell them to snap out of it. Well, you'd think the others would come and find us or something. The fact that they haven't. Carl grunts at acknowledgement but doesn't say anything more. Meanwhile, the mansion looms ominously in front of us, and there's no sign of Raven or Jenna in front. Hmm. There's the tree where we saw the body hanging, thankfully empty. I vaguely wonder if the newspaper clipping that the corpse ate is still there somehow. As Carl half drags me to the driveway, he hesitates. Listen, maybe you should wait out here. I'll wake the others up. Then I'll grab the keys and we can drive to Peyton and get away from all of this. I laugh despite myself. Yeah, right. After everything we've been through? Besides, I saved your ass when John went after you. I might have to do it again. Carl smirks. Yeah, alright. But if he comes at us, I want you getting the hell out of here. Get into your car and get to Peyton. In hindsight, maybe we should have gotten my car from the motel and left that way instead. Carl shrugs. I would have come here anyway. I'm more worried about Raven right now. We're on the steps now, and Carl listens intently, his long ears poking up. It's dead silent. My heart rate starts to pick up as Carl reaches for the door, imagining Jenna, John, running out of the darkness, knife in hand. Very slowly, Carl twists the knob and pushes open the door. Thanks to the well-oiled hinges, it makes hardly a sound as it slowly swings open. We're met with darkness, aside from a few LEDs from the TV set. Carl leans close to my ear. At least the power's still on. I'm gonna try the landlines first. I nod as Carl and I step over the foundation and into the house. I'm happy to see that Carl's kitchen looks just like Carl's kitchen. Despite the terrifying atmosphere, there's a relief that comes with knowing that we've broken free of the nightmare, whatever it was. Then a distant soft pop echoes from the town. We both look back for a moment, and I remember that sound I heard while running through Pueblo. Had someone shot at me? I don't have long to dwell on that as Carl tugs me into the kitchen, purposefully leaving the door open behind us. He's probably more worried about what might be in the house rather than what's far away in the town. The ram reaches for the light switch, then thinks better of it. He leaves me to lean against the counter before moving to the phone. I look around, noticing that the table is set with a few plates with what looks like squares of drywall on them. Oh no! In fact, the whole table is covered in dust that probably came from the crawl space. They were eating drywall. No! I frowned at that before noticing a clear cup on the counter full of some kind of yellow. No! No! At the same time, I see a piece of paper laying next to me, standing out on the spotless counter. I reach out, pressing a hand over it and feeling the smooth piece of paper, its size and shape familiar. I pick it up, looking around for a light source before seeing the fridge and hobbling over to it. Line's dead. What are you doing, dude? I open the fridge, letting the dim yellow light spill out. I hold the paper, which seems to be a copy of a newspaper clipping. This is the photocopy from the cabin, I whisper loudly. Meseta boy missing. Native settler tensions rise. Fifth native boy goes missing in 2 years. Native chief says disappearances did not happen until settlers arrived. James Hendricks has been confined in the county jail pending further evidence. I look up at Carl. Wait, so is it James that was kidnapping children? Carl shrugs at me. I really don't know, man. And I don't think it matters right now. He did have a point, considering we weren't trapped in the nightmare anymore, though I still feel like something is missing. Yeah, you're right. I fold up and shove the paper into my pocket anyway. So the phone's dead. I think we should just grab the keys and... Carl's ears prick up. I'd do the same with mine if I could. You hear that? No? Carl moves to the stairs. Stay here, I'll be right back. I shout, whisper, What? I'll be right back. I think I hear Raven. I bite my lip. The new boost of confidence that Carl's gotten is great and all, but his hero's complex is about to get him killed. I follow the ram to the top of the stairs, watching him about to start downwards before jabbing him in the back with my knuckles. I look back into the almost as dark kitchen before making up my mind and hopping down the stairs after the ram. He jumps. Holy shit, you scared the hell out of me. Carl also shout whispers. Well, fuck you for thinking of leaving me up here. I told you outside, we're sticking together. Okay. Just hold on to my shirt or something. Okay. With that, Carl starts making his way down the stairs with me limping behind. Slowly, but surely, I start to hear something too. It's muffled and quiet and sounds very much like a voice. The voice is calm and reasonable, and I'm pretty sure it's Raven's. Carl stops next to the door on our left, where the voice seems to be coming from. Wait, maybe I should open it? If Jen is in there, it's not like she's going after me, right? Carl seems to hesitate in the darkness. I don't know, man. Don't worry, you'll be right next to me, right? There's a moment of silence again before Carl shifts next to me, to the side of the door. All right, but get behind me as she goes after you. I nod as well, even if he can't see me. I take a breath, steeling myself for what might be behind the door. Slowly, I push it open. It's also dark in this room. The weight room, I realize. The talking stops immediately before it turns into a whine. Oh my god. And the door opened by itself. This is insane. I feel for the light switch next to the door and flip it on. There sits Raven, tied up to a white machine with what looks like several pieces of clothing. A few pieces of paper sit on his lap and on the ground. The husky is staring right at me, but there's no sign of recognition in his face. There's no sign of Jenna either, thank God. Raven? Oh God, it knows my name! Raven starts writhing around in his bonds. Mr. Ghost Thing, what do you want? Do you want money? Honestly, I don't have very much money at all. I work at the mall. Carl pokes his head in too. Hey, Raven, can you hear me? But Raven keeps babbling on about his job. Carl frowns and shifts past me into the room. I stand in the doorway, looking back into the hall, but only seeing darkness. Raven's still chattering when Carl reaches out, resting a hand on his shoulder. The shriek that Raven lets out makes my fur stand on end. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, no, 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 no. Shh! Carl presses a hand into the husky's mouth, muffling his nose just a bit. But that's when Raven's eyes widen. Whoa, whoa! Hey, Carl. He stares around wide-eyed. Wow, where am I? In my house, in my weight room. Are you okay? The husky looks at Carl again. What? How? Carl shrugs. We have no idea. I look back into the hallway to make sure Jenna isn't coming after all that shrieking, then look back at the other two. So, it's that easy? We just had to touch him? Carl turns to me. I guess it's like it really just a dream or something. Hey, Chase. Raven is craning his head around Carl now. Hey, Raven. Raven stares around at the room again. Wow. You know, just a second ago I was in a really fancy-looking bedroom. It had a bed with curtains on it and stuff. Raven, how'd you get tied up? Oh, Jenna, of course, actually. She calmed down a bit after I brought her into the house, but then she punched me. Carl sets to untying the husky while Raven rubs the back of his head against the weight machine. And I fell down the stairs, and she dragged me into this room and tied me up. Raven smiles sheepishly. Honestly, I probably could have fought her off. But facing a tiny, maybe a serial killer girl with a knife is kind of scary, so I just did what she told me. That's okay. Do you, know where she is now? I glance back into the hallway. Still nothing. No, she went back out. She did come back like 10 minutes ago, though, and shoved these papers into my face. Raven points at the papers in his lap on the ground with a freed hand. Carl gets started on untying the binds around his legs. Said something about these being the real letters, the truth or whatever. I limp into the room, partly because I don't want to get caught by Jenna if she suddenly comes in, and also because I want to look at the two letters. They're short. One of them is about a paragraph, the other is only a few words. Because it's second nature now, I pick up the longer one and read it aloud. I see James's name, so this is John. I don't know what to say after finding your dungeon. No, there are no other words for it, James. It is a dungeon. And after finding the boy's body, finding out what you'd done to him, there truly are no words, James. I only know now why you were never satisfied with me. All of your sweet words have turned to poison. I'm leaving you to the law and leaving this wretched town behind. I only hope that God has no mercy on your soul. I pick up the other letter, placing it over the first. You are disgusting. I don't have James's letters, so I have no idea what John was responding to. I also don't know who to believe anymore. John or James, or even the thing they were talking about could alter the notes left around in that dreamscape. There's no way I can even begin to piece together who was manipulating what. But maybe because I'm in the real world now, and this is certainly real, this could be the actual truth. I also noticed the collection of dust on these photocopy pages, taken from the scrapbook and stashed somewhere, probably the crawl space, considering the state they're in. Is Jenna in the crawl space right now, searching for letters? Raven finally pulls his feet out of the ropes, rubbing his arms. He nods at me. Said she wrote that one in jail after James had written to him? I gotta say, since that whole knife thing seems like she doesn't know who she is. I folded up the letters, putting them in my pocket with the news article. I mean, she keeps going on and on about James and letters. Did she say anything else about the letters? Raven frowns, looking at the ceiling. She said something about not being able to finish the game because one of them burned and the other got, eaten. I put a hand in my pocket. Well, I found the one that burned on the counter upstairs. I don't think it burned, we just saw it burn. I think to the tree outside in front of the house, but Carl shakes his head. Doesn't really matter now that we're free of this shit. Let's find the keys and get the hell out. Carl starts on the last restraints around Raven's ankles. I get up and limp to the doorway again, looking out toward the crawl space. In that moment, I hear a whisper of movement down the hall. I limp out a bit more, watching as two tall ears slowly materialize from out of the darkness. For a moment, I see a young male fox in overalls in front of me. But that imagery dissolves as Jenna is slowly lit up by the light coming from the weight room. She's covered in the dust from the crawl space. I'm startled, but not scared because I know she can't see me. At least she shouldn't be able to see me. But her piercing eyes are right on me. She can see me. Maybe it's the fact that it's not Jenna at all. Maybe it's because she's completely possessed and it's John looking through her eyes. Whatever it is, she can see me, that's clear because she immediately raises the knife and bares her teeth at me. I don't want the others getting caught by her, especially with Raven tied up like that. I need to give Carl or I a chance to attack from behind, depending on if she goes for me or takes a turn into the weight room. She's coming! I back out of the hall and away from Jenna, hoping to give one of us the advantage. But she's coming so fast.
Otter, you're in on it with James, huh?
Her voice, rough and deep, unlike anything I'd heard from Jenna before. I realized that there was no waking Jenna up from this. It's not Jenna anymore, and John sure as hell isn't waking up. John lunges and I turn to run. The fox doesn't even glance into the weight room as he comes for me. I limp and leap through the darkness, left hand stretched out, desperately feeling for the end of this wall that will signify the stairs. I hear the fox breathing behind me, bumping into the walls. Finally, my hand falls through nothing. I turn sharply to run up the stairs, and I stumble upwards. I start to wonder what the hell I'm gonna do. While I could try and go for the bathroom, lock the door, and that doesn't exactly help out Carl, I can't stop thinking about the newspaper clipping that John's hanging corpse ate. If I can get that, all the pieces that it wants us to get, then maybe I can end whatever it is. My thoughts are interrupted as something cold goes down my back, followed by an even colder pain just to the right of my spine. I gasp as if I've fallen into water, but continue upwards. I can hear Carl shouting too at the base of the stairs. There's so much distance between me and him for the ram to be of any help. As I reach the top of the stairs, there's a loud thwack sound to my left, just as I stumble into the kitchen. I quickly glance over my shoulder to see John yanking the knife from the wall. Oh my god! Fucking threw the knife at him! Almost sobbing now, I jump limp my way to the front door, hearing John scream curses at me from behind. While I want Carl's help right now, I also don't want him to catch up. I don't want John turning on him. I struggle with the door for a moment, for some reason, trying to push on it rather than pull. It's only a few seconds, but enough for John to gain on me and swing the knife again as I pull open the door. I scream and duck, hearing the metal clang against the outer door hinge. I lunge forward, out the door into the cool of the early morning. The sky is a soft blue as dawn breaks. I limp as fast as I can down the steps, down the driveway, toward the slope, past the road, but John catches me again as I'm on the road. This time he grabs my shirt, holding on to me. I turn to face as he draws the knife back for another swing, but that moment we go over the slope. Even in my adrenaline-fueled state, the fall is painful, and each time I roll I can feel the stab of rock sticking into my skin. The final bounce is punctuated with the blinding pain in my forehead as it collides with a small boulder. I shakily get to my feet, looking left and right for the tree, panicking until I realize it's right in front of me. I stumble right into it, clinging to it. I scan the dirt, but there's nothing, no paper at all. Jenna's getting up, just 5 feet away. I can see blood oozing through several scratches on his body. The knife is still in his hand, and he zeroes in on me again. I cower and move behind the tree, my plan ruined. And that's when my face comes level with a hollow in the tree. Automatically I reach in, feeling around, feeling mostly spiderwebs and twigs before Carl appears at the top of the slope. Hey, stop! John whirls around, knife raised, as he immediately moves in the other direction.
You.
My hand finds the corner of a piece of paper and I pull out the newspaper clipping. I scan over it. It's another quote from Carl's mother. I begin to read, my voice cracking as I manage to shout. But I was able to open a lockbox kept by James himself. It was full of jail letters between him and John. John freezes in his steps, knife still raised up, looking up at Carl. I don't want to sully the Hendricks name, but if what John said is true, James framed him for the most heinous crime in Echo's history. In the meantime, Carl stumbles down the slope, moving carefully around the fox to stand next to me. I reach into my pocket and pull the other pieces of paper. I hold them up. John, we know the truth. I'm going to tell everyone in my documentary, okay? I'm a journalist, a reporter. We see the truth. John turns toward me, knife slowly lowering. And just like that, it's not John anymore. It's Jenna. The knife clatters to the rocks. Carl reaches out to hold me, and I collapse against him, everything numb. Jenna's hands go to her mouth, staring at the knife, staring at me and Carl before she screams. In the distance I can hear sirens. Is history subjective in nature? The story of James and John sure seems to be. All we have are a few written letters, and from these we must try to draw some sort of conclusion. In the end, it can't really be said what exactly happened almost 150 years ago. Instead, we can only provide the facts. Several native children went missing. James was accused of the crime before claiming that his secret lover, John, was the culprit. In his jail letters, Jonathan claims that he was framed by James. Because of the vigilante justice dealt out by the town, John never had a trial, and no record of the evidence collected exists. James, because of his influence, was allowed to leave and live hundreds of miles away on the west coast, where he eventually died. He never wrote of the incident again. Many believe that as journalists we're supposed to be unbiased and only state facts. That's not exactly true, as long as it's clear that we're stating an opinion. So I'd like to do that now. It's my opinion that John is innocent. We should be presumed innocent until proven guilty, after all. And Jonathan has never even had that chance. According to accounts written by other townspeople, James was a deceitful and emotionally manipulative man. There are many accounts of his prejudices against the native people. In the end, the records that exist of John give us no reason to disbelieve him, while James has given us every reason to doubt him. But because time is evidence's worst enemy, it has been 150 years. The definitive answer will likely never be known. Like much of Echo, the story is lost to time. I'm Chase Hunter at Pueblo University, and this has been a special report on the town of Echo. I look over the report again, eyes stinging from staring at a monitor for so long. I'm a terrible writer, and the words of the script seem so clumsy. I shrug and decide I'll have time tomorrow to polish it up a bit. It's weird, writing the last word to a script I started almost 1.5 years ago. It's changed a lot since then, moving from a focus on hysteria to an old mansion mystery. My mind wanders back to the spring break in Echo. I still shake my head when I think about how it completely shattered my view on reality, my view on life. Of course, I couldn't come back to the school right afterwards. I hadn't finished my project after all. Actually, I needed therapy. We all did. Except Carl. He seemed to have come out of it better than he had been going into it. Somehow. Everyone handles trauma differently, Jenna would say. In fact, she has a lot of things to say about what happened. While she didn't come out quite as unscathed as Carl, she's still together. She's still tougher than me, and actually went right back to school that summer. Now she's at Weston, and a lot of her research is focused on folie à deux, or shared psychosis. Because of how everything went down, things we felt and what we saw, Jenna's convinced that that's what took place. She brought up the way we primed each other to hear and see things. The way things we saw didn't seem to have any rhyme or reason for what they were. While I do believe that a lot of what we saw came from ourselves, I'm not fully convinced that explains all of it. Mainly because the rest of the townspeople went through their own nightmare that night. I still can't believe the things that Leo and TJ went through. Still, I'm glad she can find a way to explain it to herself. She told me over the phone just last week that she hasn't forgiven herself, that she should have been stronger than that. I've told her over and over it's not her fault, but I guess after coming to with a knife in her hand and her friend stabbed, it left an impression. I rest my hand on the thick scar through my shirt that runs all the way down my back and wiggle the ankle that causes me a permanent limp. Still, this whole incident, it actually brought us closer. At least for Jenna, Carl, and I. Hell, even Raven. It's still painful to think about how Flynn, Leo, and TJ aren't really talking anymore. I guess it's the fact that we went through completely different things during the incident. Of course, we told the police that it was someone else that had stabbed me while the town descended into madness. Echo, a name famous worldwide after the mass hysteria incident that truly brought a dying town to its ultimate end. At least in terms of being a failed town. While no one really lives there now, it's certainly become a tourist attraction. Countless news reports, TV shows, and paranormal investigators descended on the area. especially once the news story changed from "spree killings leave 9 dead" to "whole town went nuts." Luckily, not a lot of focus fell on us since we weren't exactly living in Echo anymore. We just got into the ambulances and left. Carl, on the other hand, along with the rest of his family, are still harassed by the media. Carl's mom, Trisha, is a pro at handling the media, though. I still wonder about what exactly it was that stopped her from publishing all her findings. I'll have to ask her sometime, considering I'm practically family due to how much I visit with Carl. In the end, the relationship that I had with Carl in the dreamscape didn't exactly survive in the real world. Carl told me that he didn't know where he ended and James began, even when he rejected James's influence. We couldn't really trust anything that happened there. But still, he's my best friend, and I plan to spend the summer over at his house when I start my next project on Echo. Yeah, I realize that there are a lot more stories to cover over there, and I plan to uncover them. It's almost healing going back now without any fear. My own little therapy. Guess I always end up back there eventually. The sound of clops to my right makes me look up, just as a bulky ram fills the frame of the doorway. Carl leans against it, rolling his eyes. Dude, you told me you were gonna work on that tomorrow. I smile and rest my chin in my palm. I was just giving it a quick once-over before we film. Yeah, sure. Anyway, I'm going for some pizza. You coming? I'm not really hungry, but taking my mind off Echo for just a little bit sounds good. Carl always cheered me up anyway. I nod over the corner of our dorm room where Carl's papier-mâché sculpture of a tortured-looking bird sits. Don't you have to finish that thing by tomorrow? Carl shrugs. I got like 3 energy drinks in the fridge. I'll be good. Come on, let's get going. I want to meet Caitlin there too. I get up slowly, stretching out my back. Oh, I see. So I'm just the wingman. Carl smirks. It's not like that, dude. I just like hanging out with you. I just like hanging out with her. Now let's go. Carl hangs on the frame, starting to swing himself out into the hall. Hey, Carl. Carl rebounds back into the room, leaning in towards me. Yo. Thanks for being my friend. I don't know if it was all the reminiscing about what happened the spring before last, or if I'm still not over what happened, but Carl seems to understand. He smiles and reaches out a big hand toward me, which I grasp. Of course, man. And if you need to talk or something, I'm here. Do you want to talk right now? I shake my head quickly. No, I'm good. Just wanted to say it. Carl smiles. Well, thanks for saying it now. Now let's go. Carl again swings on the frame out into the hall. There's some loud clopping before I hear him shouting at someone, giving them what sounds like a high five. I smile to myself as I look at the document on the screen one last time, before closing the laptop and following Carl out into the hallway. Oh my god! We fucking made it! On the fucking hip-hop lo-fi. Oh my god. 30 fucking episodes, my guys. 30 episodes it took to get here. Oh my god. You guys... this has been a journey. And while I didn't bawl, I just did come to cry at a few points. Like just then, when they said, thanks for being, thanks for being my friend. It made me remember. It made me remember all the things that I said around the time after my mom died. 'Cause sometimes you just should say it. That's really it. Because people don't know how to reach out. People don't know how to talk to you. And sometimes they just don't know what they're doing. So you need to be the one to say, hey. And that's all you need, is to say, hey. Because they just want to talk to you. They just want to know that you're there and that you were thinking about them. My point is that every day is a gift. And it's something that I've had to learn to accept with open arms. And I hope that everyone listening can learn to accept every day for the gift that it is too. Now, I want to say this is it for Carl's route. I want to, but little birdie told me that things can go bad in Carl's route. I will do as minimal research as possible so as to not spoil myself. But if things are drastically different, and if things can go very bad, I will be continuing with Carl's route to get the bad ending, because I want to know how bad things can get. I mean, we all should know this by now. I fucking heard, everybody very clearly state, Coco, do not read since November. Coco, do not read since November. Coco, do not read since November. And I took that as a challenge to uncover the truth of arcane secrets. So, with that, and with much love to each and every one of you who's made it with me, who's made it here with me, I love you all. Thank you for watching. Have a good night, guys.